video, we'll be talking about the best metal albums of September 2021, covering albums released between September 1st and September 15th. As usual, I'll start with the albums that I already have reviewed. Then I will do 5 more albums that I will go like a little more in depth about. So this video is divided into chapters, so if you open up the video description, you can see them all there. If you want to jump ahead, feel free. So I'll get the first 2 out of the way because these are 2 big ones, Megadeth and Ozzy. I did full reviews and I did rankings of all of their discography. So if you're not subscribed, just please subscribe. You can check those out on my channel, and I just wanted to give them a quick mention. King's X, they made a big return with 3 Sides of One. They're a unique band. They blend like funk, hard rock, and metal. The album's very good. This band has been around for a long time. I've been listening to them like in the late 80s, early 90s. I listened to them a lot. I kind of lost track with them, but then I listened to this again. It's really good, so definitely check it out. Then Blind Guardian, the God Machine. They are a German metal band. They're commonly labeled as like power metal, or I think they're more like power metal and speed metal, but they do have those like fantasy oriented lyrics. This is probably one of their heavier albums, so if you like power metal and melody and like aggressive songs, check this one out. Then the Who, Rumble of Thunder. This is a unique band. They're from Mongolia. They play like all these like different Mongolian instruments. Really good album. You know, it's kind of really not a super heavy album, but like they do it in a way that just makes it very unique. And I would say it is like a metal album, but just very different, very good. Then Parkway Drive with Darker Still. This is a metalcore band, and they changed their sound. So their first 4 albums were just like straightforward metalcore. So if you're a fan of those first few albums, you might like this or you might not like this. I was kind of sold on this album with the singles. I thought they were just like really good, really catchy, really enjoyable, and that's what got me interested in this band. So, you know, this one you may or may not like, but check it out because they did evolve their sound. It's not exactly metalcore; it's a little more like heavy metal. And Revocation with Netherheaven. This is a very like dark and evil album. The lyrics are kind of like based on like Dante's Inferno, but they kind of like use like a modern twist. It's technical death metal. The album's just very solid, just very fast and heavy. Lots of like, you know, complex arrangements in the chord progressions and whatever and all that. It's just a very good album. So check that out. Now let me do the albums that I didn't review. First one, Callus, Daoboys with Celebrity Therapist. This is their 3rd album. This band plays a style of music called mathcore. The most popular band of this subgenre is the Dillinger Escape Plan. But let's define mathcore first. It's kind of like a subgenre of a subgenre. It's basically part of that whole like core family, where it's going to take me too long to explain. But the easiest way to describe it is like they use like a lot of odd time signatures, lots of like stop-start rhythms, and it does have that like it's very heavy. It's, you know, it's very similar to like a hardcore and metalcore. So it's like that. But it's the type of music that, you know, you listen to it just keeps you on your toes because you really never know what you're going to get as you're like listening. You know, everything keeps changing as you listen to these songs. So at first it might be difficult to digest, but at the same time, you know, it's the type of music that you don't really feel bored because you never know what's coming next. So that's what I liked about it. The album's 8 songs, 36 minutes, which is a good to have like a kind of like a shorter album for this type of music. And the opening track mixes metalcore, some aggressive screams, some odd time signatures. Pretty much is what you would expect from this type of album. It's just a very like a frenetic song. They also have a song called Title Track, which is not like the title of the album, but it's called like Title Track. But I thought that was funny. And but that was pretty cool because it opens like with some ambient music like Pink Floyd, but then it just takes off with like the stop-start riffing and all the madness, and it just goes into like some smooth rock rhythms with clean singing, and then some post-punk style, some bass riffs, and a lot of weirdness. So I'm gonna like spend like an entire video on this if I did review it because it's just so difficult. It's just not easy to explain. So that's all with that one. Next is King Buffalo with Regenerator. This is stoner and psychedelic rock. So the album Regenerator is their 6th album. The album has 7 songs. It's 43 minutes long. Type of music that goes back to like the 60s during those like psychedelic years, or like the early 70s with like space rock. I'm thinking like the first 2 albums by UFO, that type of music. Kind of music takes you on a space trip. It's very thought-provoking and psychedelic. Opening track, Regenerator, has some kind of hints of like Third Stone from the Sun from that Jimi Hendrix Experience. Then there's Mercury, that's kind of like a smooth beat and really chill vibe, and then it gets a little heavier at times. So for example, the song Hours, which is more like 60s rock with like a 90s Smashing Pumpkin kind of tone. Then they bring back some more space rock with a song like Mammoth, and that one's like a little slow and relaxing. So if you like just classic psychedelic rock, that type of music, check this one out. Now, Bloodbath, Survival of the Sickest. It's a band I never heard of. They're getting a lot of buzz in the metal community. So they're a death metal supergroup from Stockholm, Sweden. And I never really heard about them. I know the Fireburns Within channel talked about this album. He gave it a lot of praise. And I was surprised. I discovered that Mikael Ackerfeldt from Opeth, he was in the band at one point. He's not there anymore, but the band now has members of Paradise Lost and Catatonia. It's their 6th album. It's just that very dirty, grimy, old school death metal. Song lyrics are typical death metal lyrics. So, for example, Zombie Inferno, it's about running from zombies. Malignant Magnet Theory, kind of like maggots eating dead bodies in the graves. Carved, being like chased by a mad butcher who wants to cut you up. You know, those are my interpretations of the lyrics, at least. The sound of the album is what you would expect. Lots of fast and heavy guitar riffs, blast beats. The vocals are very guttural. You cannot understand them. But it is a death metal. They play a lot of different guitar riffs and blazing guitar solos. They slow down the tempos a little at times. So they do that, for example, on a song like Dead Parade. The final song, No God Before Me, stands out as being like a little slower. Has some thick and heavy riffs. Not much more to say about this album. If you like bands like Cannibal Corpse or those early death albums, you'll probably like this. Next is Fallujah with Empyrean. They're a band from San Francisco, California. They've been around since 2007, and they can be called, I guess, technical death metal. Empyrean is their 4th album. The lyrics are very well written. It talks about things like pain and suffering, embracing fear, things like that. The song Mindless Omnipotent Master talks about like the fate of humanity, like machines taking over. So the lyrics are very descriptive, so I did enjoy that part about it. The sound of the album is very complex, not the kind of like death metal band that plays, like Bloodbath, like I just mentioned, but they're a little more complex, a little more progressive. I think even like there's some like tones of like Dream Theater, like that type of music at times. But they do some different stuff. For example, the song Embrace Oblivion has some like ambient moments in the beginning. Then it goes into death metal madness. They have some like harsh guttural vocals. Then they mix it up and then do different styles. And they change it often throughout the song. So it is a type of death metal for those who like it like a little proggier and like a little more technical. I'm going to do one more. That's Alan Olzen, Army of Dreamers. This is a collaborative group. Consists of Symphony X singer Russell Allen and another vocalist. So he is always changing the vocalists. So he did a few albums with Jorn Lande. And then this is his 2nd album with the former Nightwish singer Annette Olsen. So that's why it's Alan Olsen. So the album is filled with melodic metal songs. They have both vocalists exchanging verses. Songs have some symphonic elements. There's also some heavy guitar riffs and a few of the songs. So if you like symphonic and power metal, you'll like this. Their lyrics are fantasy oriented. The album has good pacing. So if you like albums where like every song has like the both male and female vocals, it's a good album to check out. I know I'll mention the Fireburns Within channel again. He gave this like almost a perfect score, I remember. It's just very melodic. So if you like that type of music, you'll like it. And if you like Nightwish, like that type, so it's for you. So I'm gonna end it here. That's all. I'll try to get some new releases out. This week has been like delayed a little bit. As you can hear in my voice, I'm still getting over a cold. So anyway, new releases, Clutch, The Devil Wears Prada. I'll see what else I can do. So that's all. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.